What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 107 MMA channel. God, this is just getting worse and worse. I can't even believe that this happened. It's so crazy. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today and talking about sports. The Dodgers just won, right? LA Dodgers, baseball. And they were saying, man, but in MMA, there just seems to be so much more drama than any other sport. Now, I don't watch any other sports. Okay. I kind of half watched the game 7 last night. I know it was a momentous occasion. It was a crazy moment in sports. People are saying it was the best game 7 of all time, whatever. So fine. Checked it out for a second, but it's not interesting to me. I love fighting. That is the most interesting, intriguing sport to me ever. And pretty much all I will ever watch probably for the rest of my life. But it is a lot of drama and is a lot of craziness, and that's part of the sport, and that's part of why we love it as MMA fans, the smack talk back and forth and all the drama and the personal stories wrapped into the competition. Anyways, well, this story just continues to spiral out of control more and more, and it's just so crazy. I feel like Tom Aspinall and the Aspinalls partially they are to blame, I think, for having more and more negativity brought towards them. But also part of it is just completely out of their control. Things are happening. You cannot write this. This is crazy. Things are happening completely out of their control that is compounding the situation for them. Now, before I get into all the nitty gritty, and by the way, before people start saying I'm talking smack, I'm just telling it how it is. I'm not saying negative things about Tom. I never did it in the previous videos when I said Tom was in trouble. I'm just explaining the situation that he seems to be in. He's in a bad spot. Now, that being said, though, to give a little bit of positivity, a lot of this situation and predicament and these negative sentiments towards Tom can probably be fixed pretty quickly with a win. And that's what they say in MMA. That's what we always say. Winning fixes everything, or solves everything, or sets up everything. Anyways, whatever. Winning is winning is winning. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel if he can come back and ultimately get a victory. I think a lot of these things will go away. But for the time being, yes, things are bad. And why? Who on Tom's team told him to post this? Now, I know he may have just thought, hey, I'm just going to post a funny video. Haha, we'll get a laugh out of it. But because of the man, you just need to stay off social media. And we're going to show exactly how bad all the social media posts and the Halloween posts have gotten because of things, granted, out of his control, because of things that transpired on Saturday at the UFC event. Like I said, again, you cannot write this stuff. But Tom Aspinall goes out and posts this photo. And a lot of the people that are saying that he's playing it up, that he's exaggerating the damage because none of the doctors have found a detached retina or corneal abrasion, or the things that we would normally expect to find, which again does not mean that there's not damage to the eye. It does not mean that there could be damage that maybe isn't falling into one of those two categories. There wasn't a rupture of the eyeball either, but there still could be damage that wasn't detectable by the doctors, and there still could be something impeding his vision. So I'm not saying there's nothing, but the fact that none of that has been found is making people suspicious. On top of that, as I mentioned, the I can't see right out the gate shows that pretty much he made his mind up right out the gate after the eye poke that he didn't want to fight and was choosing to opt out versus giving his eye any chance of a time to recover or maybe regain sight. He just immediately made up his mind. So this is all making it worse. And then you're still wearing the eye patch because I think the way that people are interpreting it, maybe he thought it was a fun, friendly photo, but people are interpreting it as like thou doth protest too much. You're trying to just keep showing that the damage is there and to justify the stoppage. I think that's how it's coming off. Anyways, whether or not that was his intention, maybe it wasn't even at all. Maybe Tom was just having fun and posting stuff and not thinking about it. But man, I just think for them, they really need to just stay quiet, stay off the radar, don't do any of this, and especially don't do this. This made it 10 times worse. Now, he couldn't have known in retrospect how bad this would come back to haunt him, double entendre, whatever. But like, this really was a terrible idea to throw this out there. So he goes, man, been ready. Freddy Krueger, haha, indicating he's poked him in the eye, this and that. Very funny. Well, then what happens? On Saturday, Ante D'Elia, the guy who Tom Aspinall also has gotten in more trouble about comments about him saying, yeah, if he goes up to challenge for the heavyweight title, I'll just vacate. The thing that Dana White never wants to hear. Like, I just can't even get my mind around all these events. This is absolutely insane. The guy that he had his back says how much he cares about him and that he would vacate the belt, something that pissed Dana White off, if Ante D'Elia was to challenge for the heavyweight title. And then Ante D'Elia, so I'm mispronouncing his name. And then on top of that, Ante D'Elia makes some crazy pre-fight comments about eye pokes and saying that absolutely 100%, I think more fighters should do the same thing, meaning what Tom did, bow out of the fight, because I do believe we're going to stop with that whatsoever. I really don't understand. I've had 33 fights. I've never poked someone in the eye, and I do believe the punishment for that should be severe. And then he pokes Salsa Boy the next day in the eye. Now, what makes it worse, okay, is that at least with Cyril Gane, he poked him and he backed up. Tom's like, he poked me in the eye. He gives him space. And he go, dude, Ante D'Elia, I'm not going to play the clip because it'll probably get demonetized. The dude pokes him in the eye. The guy grabs his eye. Ante D'Elia does not stop. He goes out to say there should be like severe punishment, but then he probably knew that he poked him in the guy's covering his eye. Salsa Boy, I'm talking about. And then he just lays on like 10, 20 more shots, like heavy shots, trying to finish the fight. The ref thankfully jumps in, looks back at the footage, and notices, yes, he 100% got eye poked. The entire analyst desk commentary team is like, wow, that was a really bad eye poke. I mean, you can't write this. This is insane. Okay. Ante D'Elia, the guy who Tom Aspinall made comments about that he would vacate for him to continue on to the heavyweight title. Then Ante D'Elia goes out, sends scathing remarks to Cyril Gane, and then of 33 fights claiming is that true? Has he actually never poked anybody in the eye? Now I don't know. Poke somebody in the eye the next day after making those statements, and then it does worse, I think, than what Cyril Gane did, because he tried to finish the fight after the eye poke. Like maybe he didn't realize, okay, we have to consider that possibility, but this does not look good. This looks bad. And now to make it even a level worse, Salsa Boy comes out, okay, and he was pissed off. He was very pissed off, rightfully so, because he got poked in the eye, and then the guy tried to lay down the hammer and finish him with a ton of strikes when he's trying to get his vision back, which is totally uncool. I do agree, if he really knew that he had poked him. And then Salsa Boy was pissed. And then to add to the rough week that Tom Aspinall is having, Salsa Boy doesn't go for a no contest, doesn't say he can't fight. He says, nah, send me back in there. Again, not saying that Tom Aspinall should have done it, but again, it just looks bad. It looks worse that he goes in there after the eye poke, after Ante D'Elia pokes him in the eye, the guy that had scathing remarks about the eye poke. He decides to continue to fight, and then he knocks out Ante D'Elia cold with a crazy shot. Now, he says in this interview, I don't have the entire clip, but I have a particular clip that's of importance, the most important clip of this interview. But he said, yeah, man, I was pissed off. I wanted to go in there and really hurt him because he felt like it was a dirty move. I mean, I kind of have to agree with him, unless Ante D'Elia truly didn't know. But if he did, I had to agree with him that he should have seen him grabbing his eye. Maybe he thought he was faking it. I don't know. But he saw him grabbing his eye, and then he continues to go, bah, bah, bah. I feel like most fighters are like, oh, my God, I'm sorry, bro. I poked you in the eye. Usually it's something like that. He didn't stop, lay down the barrage. So he's like, nah, I want to come back and put a hurting on him. And then final insult to injury. Listen to what Salsa Boy had to say, fighting Ante D'Elia, but he throws some strays, fires some strays at the one, the only Tom Aspinall. Check this out.
A moment. Dana, you see how one heavyweight, they can push forward. I don't care. They have like poke the eye. I can fight anywhere. I can fight right now. They're going to say I can fight the game.
He doesn't throw in straight. You see how messed up his eye looks, by the way? That looks crazy. One eye is like completely that's his left eye, I believe, that got smashed. Like it's super messed up. And yeah, it looks bad, but he has to throw that out there. And I guess he's in the camp of many other fighters, by the way, who I think felt like, nah, I get poked in the eye, I'm going to keep fighting. Now, again, I said this before, people saying that I'm piling onto Tom, or if you think that I'm piling onto Tom, I fully acknowledge and recognize not all eye pokes are the same. So he could have been poked in the eye and he could be fine. Tom Aspinall got double poked and he's not fine and he can't recover. Fully understand. I fully get all of that. I'm not commenting on that, and I'm not saying he should have fought. I'm not a fighter. I don't have the grounds by which to say. Even if I was a fighter, I couldn't fully say either, because again, as I mentioned, I don't know the severity. Truly, only Tom knows. That's what so many fighters are saying. Only Tom knows. So I can't, even if I was, I couldn't say what Tom should or shouldn't have done. My point in this video is this is just a comedy of errors, just getting worse and worse and worse. So let me end on this. Okay, number one, Salsa Boy is on fire right now. This is probably going to go viral this week. He's probably going to be everywhere. I don't think Ariel will interview him because of what he said negative about Tom Aspinall, because, we see the spin that Ariel's trying to put on it. But he's going to be all over the place. I guarantee it. And it's kind of perfect timing for Salsa Boy. But man, Things are getting worse and worse for Tom Aspinall. Light at the end of the tunnel if he can get if he can get a victory in the next fight. Which if it is a rematch, I don't know if he can, but if he can get that, winning fixes everything. But my final parting words are my advice, I suppose, is just stay off social media. Just let it die. Don't post pictures with the eye patch. Don't talk about the more doctors saying it's bad, it's real bad, without giving any like real justification. Just let it be. It's okay. The fight has been called off. They're going to work on a rematch. Play nice with the UFC. Maybe you'll have to sign a new contract. I don't know what they're going to do, but that would be my advice at a minimum. Just stay off. Let it die. Let people stop talking about it, and you'll be good. But anyways, had to talk about this. This is absolutely wild. Do you guys agree? Is it the craziest thing you've ever seen? I mean, can you believe all the drama, all the hype, people talking smack? Tom posts the photos, and then his teammate, his boy, who he said he'd vacate the title for, goes out and does the same thing, and his opponent doesn't bail out. He continues to fight and gets the knockout. Like, this is wild. This is so crazy. Insane. And on top of that, they're about to change the rules on eye pokes this week. Crazy time to be an MMA fan. Crazy comedy of errors, as I mentioned. We shall see how it all unfolds. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Aspinall is at all to blame for all of this negative backlash? Do you think he's totally in the right? Do you think even Ante D'Elia was totally right and just stuff happens? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.